some family real quick as I lay here. Cause it's been a lot of shit in the media, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of this shit, as much as we, you know, would like to think it's cool, it's not. I'm not racist. I'm just a mere observer. That's number zero. Number one, just in 1967, which was like 50, what, 50 some odd years ago. And let's be clear, we got 50 some year old women and 50 some year old dudes who sleep with 20 some year old girls. So I say this to say, people really have Stockholm syndrome, or people really do have amnesia. Because just 54 years ago, wasn't nobody really rocking with my people, bro. So what I want to say is, when it comes to our culture, when it comes to the African American people, just in 1954, that were very subtle, feminine women that was getting bit by dogs. So black men and women and other races of people can walk together. Just in 1967, that was what you call them, dainty black women, feminine black women, docile black women that was out here standing on the front line. So all of this stuff, this miscegenation, this amalgamation, all of this stuff y'all enjoying today over here in the States, it was really had a lot to do with black women. Let's be clear about it. Let's be clear about this. Was nobody, no race of women, not a mixed race, not the Caucasian race, not the Spanish race, the German. None of these people was standing up to help black people just 50 some years ago. We're not even talking about 1800. We're not even talking about 1492. Just 50 some years ago. So what we not gonna do today is act like we just so blind, you know what I'm saying? Just 50 some years ago, it was motherfuckers that was considered as mixed. It was people that we call Hispanic, okay? That was going by the brown paper bag test. Just 50 some years ago. If you could pass for white, you wouldn't be rocking with my people. If you could pass for any other race other than black, guess what? That's what they was doing. But just 50 some years ago, this just occurred. My mama was 10 years old. Okay. So when we have people that just in the 80s, man, wasn't nobody rocking with our culture in the 80s, man. Nobody was really rocking with us. We was still out here, you understand me, in the South. I ain't talking about nowhere else. I'm talking about in the South, because, see, I learned that when you speak on different subject matter, people live in different demographics, so they can't grasp what it is that I'm saying. And I'm not going to move from out the South because we got a whole bunch of people out here trying to take over. I'm not going to move out the Western Hemisphere where I'm at because a whole bunch, I never been afraid of a whole bunch of people, because I always felt like if it had to be a whole bunch of people, like a mob or a gang, or, like how Christopher Columbus them came, how the Spanish conquistadors killed all the blacks over here, you know what I'm saying, in America, starting from Tobago all the way up to Canada. You feel me? I ain't never been afraid of none of that shit. So guess what? Apparently that's why I still made it. That's why I'm still here. My bloodline was a bloodline of warriors. My bloodline is a bloodline of not no bootlicking ass niggas. First they mock us, then they mimic us. Let's just start with Cardi, the little Cardi chick. You talk so much shit about Nicki Minaj, but every photo shot I see her on, you look like a knockoff Nicki Minaj. You beef with this girl, but you sitting up here looking like a black Nicki Minaj, a knockoff Nicki Minaj. And stop getting in the black community making money You know what I'm saying? And you ain't really doing shit in the black community. Look at J-Lo. J-Lo got all her money off the black community. And then had the audacity to say she the black J-Lo on the block. Man, you wouldn't have called yourself black 50 some years ago. You'd have been, I'm Puerto Rican. So just because it's cool to be black right now, I would advise original black people, man, stop letting everybody in your circle. Stop letting everybody in your culture. Because these people are culture vultures. Now, I'm not saying don't feed nobody. I'm not saying don't respect nobody. I'm not saying none of that. What I'm saying is when you listening to this message, get up out your feelings, because what you can clearly see around the globe is that when every other race of people have an agenda, black people are not invited. But when black people out of the Western Hemisphere have an agenda, everybody and their mama want to be a part of it. We can't have shit without somebody being nosy, wanting to get the recipe. Man, do you know right now, the narco corridors, right? Ain't not one black person in a narco corridor. It's not one black person in black Spanish rap. Get the fuck out of here. And they made it very clear. They're not going to have black people in their videos. But guess what black people do? The fucking opposite. And then they wonder why the rap game watered down and dead. You got motherfuckers out here that is rapping other lyrics that somebody else wrote and calling themselves real. And going against somebody that write their own lyrics. Man, get the fuck out of here. Fake has become the new real. That shit insane, man. I don't got nothing against nobody. Like, my people need to wake up. It's time to wake up, man. All of this. Look, like I say, when other races of people have an agenda, we are never invited. Even the Nigerians, they have an agenda. The blacks in the Western Hemisphere not invited. Let me touch on one more subject too, because I ain't finna argue with nobody that come on this live, that watch this live in any space and time, past, present, or future. I'm not gonna argue with nobody that don't know that Africa is the only continent that sit in all four hemispheres, okay? I'm not gonna argue with nobody that don't know that one thing. If you don't understand that Africa is a country, a continent that sits in all four hemispheres, do not ever, ever, ever tell black people to go back to Africa. Africa sits in the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, the western hemisphere, and the eastern hemisphere. We don't got to go no motherfucking well. I don't have nothing against nobody. God knows I don't. Even the building that I'm in right now, I have never let a black person stay here. Everybody that has ever inhabited this building has never been even my own race. And guess what? Every person that's inhabited this building has did something disgraceful to this place. So I don't care. I don't judge people about what kind of job they have. I don't judge people about how they look on the outside. I judge people by their spirit. I judge people by the shit that they don't say. I judge people by the shit that they trying to hide. And I made it a point. So with that being said, first they mock us, then they mimic us. I don't give a fuck how cool and we kumbaya. Look, we fake kumbaya right now. Cause just 50 some years ago, not in 1800, I'm talking about 1967. When black women were out there with their little roller curl, their little hair done, and being very submissive and subtle and feminine. They was out there getting bit by dogs and shit. They was out there, walking that motherfucking line. Wasn't no other race of women out there with us, my nigga. When it was time for black women, and just in the 60s, wasn't no other race of people was out there with us and shooting in the gym. So understand one thing, family, black family, my black family. It's just cool to be black right now. We have always been a hospitable people. We have always been a loving and kind and welcoming people. And don't let that change because people come into, into your circle. But let me tell you something, I never read scripture as a religion. I always read scripture as this is a code of ethics. This is a code of morals. When it say when I send your sons and your daughters into this land, when I send you into this land, don't give your sons and your daughters over to their sons and their daughters. Then people wonder why Cleopatra looked like how she looked. Then people wonder why, if Egypt was black, why Egypt looked like it looked today. Because look, all you gotta do is look at Kobe Bryant kids. Look at dude from Alpha. Look at all of these people, these black men that go have these babies with these other races. Look at Meghan Markle. Look at Meghan Markle baby. That's how Cleopatra looked like how she looked. So with that being said, first they mock us, then they mimic us, then they take over what the fuck you were doing. Like, this shit really getting sad. Like, I don't give a damn how much money a person got. Look, I don't care what people do in life. You know what I'm saying? My people have been misled, been misguided, and they have been bamboozled. It's all I see in the media. Everybody black fighting everybody. Everybody mixed have the fucking audacity to speak down on originally black melanated women. Man, make this shit make sense, bro. I don't never see white women on this motherfucking live or white women on, talking down on their race like this. If a white woman want to date a black man, baby, she ain't finna be talking about white man is this and white man got a little. They don't do that. They don't do that. They just motherfucking make they move. They don't need no excuses on why they doing what they doing. But so when you gotta make an excuse on why you doing what you doing, 10 times out of 10 you ain't supposed to be doing it. If you gotta explain to the masses, this why I wanna, what you ain't really supposed to be doing it. And another thing, black family, you know what I'm saying? Understand this. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But when it comes to codes, morals, ethics, and motherfucking genetics, we can't do what everybody do, man. Cause guess what? That culture vulture shit, that shit is real.